Coming up on today's show, we're going to check out ESPN's favorite draft picks, and we're going to see who selected the Tennessee Titans and what pick for Tennessee. But we're also going to talk about potentially Malik Willis being traded to the Seattle Seahawks. An interesting rumor / idea was floated out there. So we got that on tap for you guys today. But first things first, make sure to like today's video. Help us juice the good old YouTube analytics and put us in that jet stream. But also, like the video if you want to reclaim the AFC South. I remember talking to you guys back in the fall thinking there's no way the Jags are going to come back and win the division. I guess enough people did not like the video back in October, so let's undo that curse by hitting that thumbs up button. Welcome into Titans Today by Chat Sports. Matthew Peterson here, hanging out with you guys, talking Titans football because I know it's a little bit the low point of the offseason. Wait till July, trust me. But there are some still interesting rumors and nuggets out there to hit on, starting with this, kind of stemming from the NFL draft as we are still in the draft's big shadow. Will Levis, is he a steal? Well, ESPN's Mike Tannenbaum picked Will Levis as his favorite draft pick in the entire NFL draft as he joined a bunch of other ESPN analysts and whatnot with their favorite selections. Now, Tennessee, if you remember, traded up to get the Kentucky quarterback at number 33. So clearly the Titans have a lot of value in Will Levis, and they're not just sitting back thinking, well, he fell to us, so we took a shot at him. No, they see some future in Will Levis, or they were not going to give up a future third-round pick to get him. Now, Levis does turn 24 years old in June, so the clock is ticking to get the most out of Will Levis because you'd rather not see him start to peak when he's 30 and he's on his second contract at that point. Now, here's what Mike Tannenbaum said on Will Levis as his favorite draft pick. The Titans have their heir apparent to the quarterback Ryan Tannehill, and there is no rush to play him. Learning from Tannehill for a year is the ideal situation for Levis to develop. He threw 23 interceptions in the past 2 seasons and still has work to do on his game. Now, I've got some good news and some bad news when it comes to Mike Tannenbaum as the guy to give this opinion. The good news is, if you don't know Mike Tannenbaum, he's a former NFL GM, and he likes your team's pick, and that's got to feel good because NFL GMs should be some of the smartest football minds to walk the face of the earth. Here's the bad news. It's Mike Tannenbaum. He's not a good GM. He was an awful GM for the New York Jets, and he has somehow worse takes. I mean, I remember when he hopped on First Take and talked about how the Jets should trade for Aaron Rodgers and then draft a quarterback in round 1. Because we know how well that worked for Aaron Rodgers and his relationship with the Green Bay Packers when they did that. Or how he thought Hendon Hooker, who, love Hendon Hooker, was going to be the 5th overall pick to the Seattle Seahawks. I don't know what Mike Tannenbaum drinks, but it's a lot, and it's heavy. Now, Will Levis at Kentucky last season, 2,400 yards, 19 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. At this point, we all know Will Levis' stats. We all have our takes. We all have our opinions on the Mayo drinking coffee quarterback. So let me know if you are a believer in Will Levis. Simple Y for yes or N for no will do in the comment section. Are you in on Will Levis, right? Just as a good NFL quarterback. Doesn't need to be a Hall of Fame quarterback, but he can't be a bust, right? Are you in on Mr. Levis? I'm not a Will Levis guy, and I know that this always splits the room in half. It's a very polarizing topic, and you're never going to get everyone to agree on it, and that's fine, right? As sports fans, we should never really unanimously agree on an NFL draft pick. There's always a level of uncertainty. Nothing's a guarantee. Go talk to Jamarcus Russell about that. There are so many examples of high picks. And Will Levis at 33, he's not going to set back this franchise, right? Zach Wilson at 2 as a big-time miss for the Jets, that's a bit of a setback for a franchise. For Tennessee, you get what you pay for, right? You paid for a 33 pick in the draft. Ultimately, that's not going to make or break your draft, but it could be a huge get in a few years if Will Levis is good, but I don't think he is all that good, honestly. And let's be real. When have we ever agreed on a quarterback? So if you don't like this take, that's fine. we're never going to see eye to eye when it comes to draft picks as fans. But to me, Will Levis is not going to be a star quarterback in the NFL. Now, here are some other favorite picks by ESPN analysts. Anthony Richardson and C.J. Stroud both got picked twice. Matt Bowen, Jason Reed, Mike Clay, and Jordan Reed. We have a Raiders pick in round number 2. Michael Mayer, the tight end from Notre Dame. Jalen Carter from Matt Miller to the Eagles. Darnell Wright from Knoxville going to Chicago by Eric Moody. Seth Walder from the Tennessee Volunteers going to the Detroit Lions, Hendon Hooker. Field Yates with Christian Gonzalez. That's actually a nice segue here. If I had to give my favorite picks round by round, take into account the value, right? Where you got them in that round, because I think that's very important. It's very easy to hit on the first pick in round number 1 or the first pick in round number 2. It's a lot more impressive if you can find a very good player later in those rounds. I think Christian Gonzalez being the 17th pick by the Patriots, we're going to look back at and go, how did the Patriots get a top 5 player from this draft class at pick 17? Love that selection for New England. John Michael Schmitz and Jalen Hyatt. I didn't intend to pick 2 Giants selections, but I think John Michael Schmitz is going to be a 10-plus year starter for New York. And Jalen Hyatt, I mean, as a Tennessee grad, he's awesome, right? To all the people in the Volunteer State right now, we know how special he is. I love this selection for the Giants at any point in round 2, but especially for how late in round 3, but especially for how late it was in round number 3 at pick 73. Clark Phillips for the Falcons in round number 4. They got a starting corner in day 3. That's a win. Along with Henry To'oTo'o, a Polynesian Prince, another day 1 starter I predict for the Houston Texans in round number 5. So to look back at Tennessee's 2023 draft, Peter Skoronski, Will Levis, Tyjae Spears, Josh Wiley, Jalen Duncan, and Colton Dowell, those were the 6 selections made by Rand Carthon in his first GM draft as a Tennessee Titan. So who was your favorite Titans draft pick? Tyjae Spears is a really fun pick, right? I don't know exactly what his role will be post Derrick Henry. I can picture it well with Derrick Henry as that scat back, as that change of pace back. But without Derrick Henry, I don't know if he really is an every down type of running back or not. Peter Skoronski is a good pick in my opinion, right? That's a Mike Vrabel pick to beef up the trenches a little bit and get things right down where the whole play starts. Moving on to the second segment of today's show. Could we see a Malik Willis trade happen soon? So a Seahawks YouTube channel tossed out the idea of Seattle trading for Malik Willis. Now, there are some rumors out there about Malik Willis's time potentially coming to an end soon in Tennessee following the Will Levis pick. But most importantly, I know it was only his rookie season, but not once did I think last season I see some raw potential in Malik Willis. Like, it was very tough to watch. And the Titans and Todd Downing did not do him a ton of favors, but he also looked like a fish out of water and is like, I don't think that's an NFL starting quarterback. I don't think it's an NFL backup quarterback. I don't know if that's an NFL preseason quarterback. So are the Seahawks a prime trade candidate for Malik Willis? Last season, he got some starts, he got some time, 8 games, and he did not make the most of it, right? I mean, they were so concerned about the quarterback spot, they offered to go with Josh Dobbs off the Lions practice squad for essentially a playoff game against Jacksonville, who did not know the Titans playbook whatsoever, over Malik Willis, who had been there all season long and had some chemistry and had some familiarity with the system. Now, Tennessee's quarterback room, I've got Malik Willis as QB3. I think Will Levis steps into Nashville immediately as the backup primary quarterback to Ryan Tannehill, and who knows how quickly he could take over the starting job. As for Seattle, they're running it back with the same quarterback room. So now let's talk a little bit about why does it make sense for the Seahawks, right? Why Seattle specifically? They just re-signed Geno Smith, but it is more or less a 1-year contract. All the guaranteed money is pretty much up after that. There's not a lot of dead money that's going to keep him tied to Geno for the long term. Drew Lock re-signed on a 1-year deal. Keep the same quarterback room. It worked last year. Maybe they can continue that magic into this upcoming season. So what does the trade look like? I don't think you're going to get a whole lot from Malik Willis. I know it's a bit of a bummer to hear right now, but I'm talking day 3 pick swap. Like, this may be all you get from Malik Willis if you get anything at all, because I don't believe there is a list of teams lining up to trade for Malik Willis after last season. But maybe Seattle goes, well, let's give up a future 6th-round pick. It means nothing. We're getting a 7th back. It's a bag of peanuts. And hey, Geno, is a one-hit wonder. Well, whoever the quarterback we draft next year, him and Malik Willis can compete, and maybe our coaching staff believes we can find that old Liberty quarterback who some thought could go round 1 last year. I don't think it's out there, but it's the quarterback position. Teams love to sell themselves on believing they can resurrect a quarterback, right? They can be the ones to make it work. They see the tools and the traits. They just got to press the right buttons, and we know how to do that in Seattle. We did that with Russell Wilson. He was a 3rd-round pick. We turned Geno Smith's career around. Why can't we do it one more time with Malik Willis at a very little cost? So let me know. Should the Titans trade Malik Willis? Should they give up on their not early, but mid-round pick last year already? T for trade or P for pass? Give me your thoughts down in the comment section below. That's going to do it for us on today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have not subscribed, I invite you to go ahead and do so. Never miss anything pertaining to the Tennessee Titans when you're subbed to the channel.